5 years after they gave birth to the Harman Kardon Go Plus Play, current as ever, Alan Ross Reviews, he gives you the Go Plus Play versus the JBL Xtreme 3. Yes, it is another one that you personally asked me to make. I'm always eager to please, as you know. And here we have the JBL Xtreme 3 versus the Harman Kardon Go Plus Play. But come on, guys, as always, look at the difference in size. We know that's got a decent old bass on it, but we know that's got a really decent bass on it. And are you really expecting this to be close? Now, the thing about the JBL Xtreme, of course, is it's extremely priced. They don't muck about. The JBL Xtreme 3, 280 quid. And there's the thing, 280 quid, a little speaker like, that must be 500 quid then, mate. No, that's 245 quid in the UK, even in the US, $224 for the Go Plus Play, $299 for the JBL extremely priced 3. What's that all about? Well, maybe they're getting an incredible amount of bass out of the JBL Xtreme 3. They've defined the laws of physics, and this is going to be a shocker. The JBL Xtreme 3 justifies its price. The first time in maybe 20 years against the Go Plus Play. Just remember, it's not like, oh, it's a completely different company. Harman Kardon is, well, it's supposed to be the upscale brand, isn't it, so to speak, of JBL. It's basically the same company. To me, it's the lifestyle angle of JBL, and they charge even more. So it's about making something that, you know, the high polloi, the upper crust will probably buy, even if it's just a stick on a shelf. And the mates come around and said, oh, blimey, I see you got one of those, and they're really expensive, aren't they? Well, can it justify the price? Well, it doesn't have to justify the price, is it? It's 245 quid. It's cheaper. It's cheaper than that. So we'll have a listen, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about it, and we'll see what we think. I'm going to do a moderate volume test, around 50% volume.
Catch me on a plane on my way to Italy, Cartier and Tiffany's. Catch me on a plane on my way to Italy, Italy. Diamonds on the dash, I buy all my cars in cash. Diamonds on the dash, I buy all my cars in cash. I'm dripping in Cartier and Tiffany. You can call me baby, but only for tonight. I can rock your world, boy, I'll take you for a ride. You can call me baby, but only for tonight. I can rock your world, boy, I'll take you for a ride. You can call me baby, but only for tonight. I can rock your world, boy, I'll take you for a ride. You can call me baby, but only for tonight. I can rock your world, boy, I'll take you for a ride. Catch me on a plane on my way to Italy, Cartier and Tiffany's. Catch me on a plane on my way to Italy, Italy. Diamonds on the dash, I buy all my cars in cash. Diamonds on the dash, I buy all my cars in cash. I'm dripping in Cartier and Tiffany. You can call me baby, but only for tonight. I can rock your world, boy, I'll take you for a ride. You can call me baby, but only for tonight. I can rock your world, boy, I'll take you for a ride. You can call me baby, but only for tonight. I can rock your world, boy, I'll take you for a ride. You can call me baby, but only for tonight. I can rock your world, boy, I'll take you for a ride. Take you for a ride. Take you for a ride. I'm dripping in Cartier and Tiffany.
Well, the differences are not huge. There is a decent bass on the JBL Xtreme 3 at these volumes. I'm not saying it can compete. At the end of the day, the Go Plus Play, it sounds bigger. It sounds wider. There's a better sound stage. and the bass is bigger, but not by as much as one may expect. But yes, overall, it sounds thinner on the JBL Xtreme 3. It sounds a bit more brittle, and it certainly sounds smaller. The bass is bigger, it's meatier, and it's more resonant on the Go Plus Play. But I know it's more expensive, but in terms of size, it kind of holds its own, but it's basically doing what you'd expect for the size. The bass is there, but it's a bit smaller. So let's kick it up a bit. Let's go to decent sounding volumes, around 75% volume.
Life's better when you're on top, baby. Drink me up like I'm a cherry pop. Oh, your rhythm wanna make my candy rock, baby. I'ma be a cougar when you be my silver fox. We could be electric, I could stick you in shock. If you wanna go, you're never gonna wanna stop, honey. Oh, baby, with my love, set me on fire in your arms. Oh, baby, with my love. Life is better when you're on top. 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 If I'm gonna work you, then I'd rather be the boss. Send it to your Danny if you wanna grease me up, baby. I got you, baby, quick, baby, maybe we can spark. If you're gonna ride, take me to the body shop. If I go fast, you can cut me like a cop, daddy. Oh, baby, with my love, set me on fire in your arms. Oh, baby, with my love. Life is better when you're on top. 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 Life is better when you're on top.
So yeah, now we're kicking up to proper volumes. It's a bit of a different story. It's getting a bit lost now, the JBL Xtreme 3. It's very much mids and highs dominated. So it kind of can make the Go Plus Play sound a bit muffled. In the real world, on its own, is not going to sound muffled. But there is a big old high-end boost on the JBL Xtreme 3. That's what's coming through, rather than the bass now. Held its own at lower volumes, but it's kind of outshone now, outdone, around 75% volume. Now we're seeing, I've got to say, what you pay for, but no, because this is more expensive for the JBL Xtreme Price 3. It's bigger, but if it was, you think if that was from the same company, if that was both from JBL, then that would be a £400 speaker, but it's not. Surprisingly, from Harman Kardon, that's around a £230-ish, $230-ish speaker. We've now got 3 decibels more bass, which is big difference on the Go Plus Play. And while it sounds now, in comparison, quite clear on the JBL Xtreme 3 because of those highs and mids, it could also sound a bit harsh as it's pushing an already boosted high end. So, okay, if you can, clearly already we can see if you can put up with the size, you'd go with the Harman Kardon Go Plus Play because it's cheaper and the bass, there's more bass, there's more fun factor. But of course, I'm saying, oh, of course, there's more bass. That automatically means you're going to go out and buy it. Well, no, of course. I've got to recognise not everybody loves bass. For a lot of people, they're going to go, oh my God, it's too much bass. Horses for courses. It's all about taste. I can only put it to you as I see it. But for most of us, we like a big old bass. Both of these speakers promise that, but the bigger speaker delivers more of it. What happens? We go to maximum volume. I'm saying maximum volume. Both of these speakers will go a bit louder if you plug the mains lead in. I'm not going to do that in this video because they just go a bit louder. It's going to be the same result as on battery in terms of relative differences. So on battery, both of these speakers are 100% volume.
And as the silence gets loud and the
So the loudest is the JBL Xtreme 3, 2 decibels up on the Go Plus Play, but that doesn't tell you the story. The story is very little bass, hard listen, edgy listen, lots of bass, slightly muddy in comparison now the Go Plus Play to the JBL Xtreme 3. So it doesn't go as loud as the JBL Xtreme 3, but it's a better listen. 18 decibels, 18 huge decibels up at 40 hertz, low bass on the JBL Xtreme 3, overall deep bass, 5 decibels more on the Go Plus Play, overall bass, 4 decibels more bass on the Go Plus Play. You can see the push in the mids and the highs on that JBL Xtreme 3 compared to the Go Plus Play, which is still a bass heavy speaker, but the Xtreme 3 a bit of a screech fest now. So now, very, very different. The JBL Xtreme 3 does go louder, but as I've said in previous videos, the reason why it doesn't go that much louder on the Go Plus Play is the pushing. They're not reducing the bass, they're pushing a lot of bass. It costs a lot in terms of the amplifier, so it's not going to go as loud. If you reduce the bass from like 75% onwards, as they do in the JBL Xtreme 3, and then you just push the mids and the highs. When I say reduce, it's relative. Remember, these speakers have limiters. It goes louder, is what I'm trying to say, but there's more bass. On the Harman Kardon Go Plus Play, they haven't limited the bass, and the result is it doesn't go as loud, but you've got more bass. So you have that's a harsh listen. I wouldn't want to listen to that at maximum volume, but technically, when you measure it, it goes louder. So you asked for the JBL Extremely Priced 3 versus the Harman Kardon Go Plus Player speaker. I've already said I really, really like. It can sound quite muffled in some of these A-B comparisons. In the real world, it isn't muffled. Just remember that because they're overly pushing mids and highs, where they're not really doing that on the Go Plus Play. So the takeaway of this video is, hopefully if you've watched at least 3 adverts, I've got a bit more revenue. I'll put that towards another speaker. And the takeaway is, as you probably expect, the bigger speaker has more bass. And surprisingly, the little speaker, well, not surprisingly, is more expensive. A lot of the times you go smaller, you pay more for it. But for me, this has never justified its price. With the Motion Boom, Alan Ross, a pound for pound world champion Motion Boom at 80 quid, can have more deep bass than the JBL Xtreme 3. Doesn't justify its price, and it hasn't come down in price since day one. So, Go Plus Play is my winner, and it's the cheaper speaker. And I really thank you for watching.
I ain't about that life. I ain't about that life. Ain't no project wife, got my logic right, guess I'm not